Thanks for joining us, Berwyn. So, vocational education's at a crossroads in Australia. How does that impact research priorities?
Well, I think the crossroads is a significant one, and at this stage I don't know what impact it will have on research because we're unsure of what direction vocational education training is going on. However, it doesn't matter which educational environment, research has always got to be a core because it must underpin teaching and learning practice. So I think what we really need now is to try and estimate what the changes will be and ensure that we have some evidence based on research for changes in policy and practice.
Thinking back to when you were teaching in the sector, what do you know now from research that you'd wish you'd known then?
I think, well, I'm still a teacher and I have been a teacher for 51 years, so I don't want to give you the wrong impression that I'm just a researcher because my research has always been based on my own teaching practice. What do I know now? I think the biggest thing is I know now that it doesn't matter who you are, you have the capacity to critically reflect on your teaching, be prepared to test new ideas, to evaluate those new ideas, and to test those new ideas with other people. So I think as a starting teacher, you don't know that you're allowed to do that sort of thing.
You're the director of the Work-Based Education Research Centre, but increasingly traditional higher education programs are pushed to become work-based and focused on the student's job at the end. What can higher education learn from vet teaching?
Well, I think that very aspect, that yes, they are preparing people for the workplace. I think quite often higher ed people think maybe they are preparing people, developing the discipline, but there is a workplace at the end of it, and unless graduates are work ready, they won't be employed. And I think what they can learn from vet is that quite often vet graduates get jobs immediately because they're well prepared for those jobs, where I think in lots of instances higher education people have a much broader, more complex, deeper understanding of their discipline, but not necessarily are they well prepared to go immediately into an occupation, into the job. So I think a mix of the two would be very nice for both sides, really, because I think we can learn from higher education as well the critical importance of knowledge and understanding conceptual knowledge that may be missing from training packages.
What do you think the best ways are to support vet teachers to develop their research passions?
Research passions. Well, I'm not sure that we want them in the first instance to develop research passions. It would be much better, I think, if people understood that research is not a word that resides only in higher education, but it is something that we all should be doing, and it relates to critical reflection. It's about evaluation. It is about trying new things. Writing it up is the critical thing. That's what we don't do. We're implementing new practices, but we don't document it. We don't share it with others. We don't test it with others. So passions? No, I think we should just build it into day-to-day practice. And the other thing that I think vet teachers need to understand is that they're not the only ones with the problems. Others are testing solutions, and perhaps if they seek out research, find research that others have undertaken, it's a great learning experience. So it's about engaging with researchers, it's about engaging in research and engaging with research that's been completed, because there are some of the solutions to the problems they're facing on a day-to-day basis.
So looking ahead, what do you see as the key topics for vet research in the next couple of years?
I would always put teaching and learning at the top of a list. It's every year. It tends to be neglected. I think we still need to work our way through how you teach various disciplines. I mean, how do you teach plumbing? How do you teach hairdressing? This, I think we don't actually understand how best we might do these things. So vocational pedagogy, I think, is a critical area. The other thing is organisational change, because we're working in organisations that are constantly changing with new government, new ways of working, new policy. That's the other aspect, I think. And capability of teachers, their capacity to teach, their capacity to assess and understand what they're doing. But that's the key to quality in the sector, in truth, unless we address the skills and knowledge, the confidence of our teaching workforce. Nothing will really change.